When someone you are close to passes away, it's quite comforting to keep something of theirs that has some sort of sentimental value. And I'm not talking about the person's car, their house, money, TV, any valuables. I'm meaning something that was close to them, maybe a favorite sweater, an antique, a picture. Well, this past February, my grandmother passed away. And rather than asking for, a favorite sweater, the antique, the picture, I found something that was much more sentimental in my eyes. When my brother and I were little, my parents worked a lot. My dad went to his office in Albany 5 days a week, and my mom worked full-time at the pharmacy. It seemed that my grandmother was with us 24/7. She wasn't a grandmother. She was more of a mother to my brother and I. Some days she would babysit us starting at 7 a.m. before my brother and I even woke up. And those were the days that we would wake up to the smell of cigarette smoke permeating from the entryway of the house. She thought that smoking in the entryway would keep the smoke just in the entryway to protect our little lungs from the smoke. But there's nothing that we loved more than waking up to the smell of the smoke, because we knew who was there. We knew what that meant, that we would go downstairs and our grandmother would be there. It was the greatest thing to wake up to, was the smell of cigarettes. So we were always interested in her cigarettes when we were little, probably because she told us never to smoke. She'd tell us that, and then she'd take another puff. We liked the smell of them before they were lit, when they were just in the package. She'd tell us horror stories about why we shouldn't smoke and why it's so bad for us. Again, as she took another puff of the cigarette. Well, she smoked from the time she was 16 until the time she died. The smell was normal to my brother and I. Anyone who walked into her house would wince when they inhaled the stinging air. No matter how old we got, even after we were almost never around the smoke anymore, it didn't faze us. It was almost like when you walk into your own home, you don't recognize the scent of your own home because you're so used to it. It was the same thing with the smoke. Even after we stopped seeing her so much, she wasn't babysitting us anymore, we were still just immune to it. It was totally normal and almost comforting to us. She did get throat cancer years ago. That never fazed me either. I knew she'd be fine. I was the only one that was not concerned about her cancer because I had a gut feeling that she would be fine. She became cancer-free, and all I said was, "Told you." Well, this past January, my mom told me that my grandmother wasn't feeling well. And that's when I had another gut feeling, and it wasn't a good one. She started needing 24-hour care starting in January, help with her meds, make her food, help her shower, light the cigarette for her. I had to help her with that a couple times. Well, by the time she was nearing the end, the house didn't even smell like smoke anymore. She hadn't been smoking for the past few weeks. I was there when she passed away in mid-February. About a week later, I decided I wanted something of hers to remember, something with sentimental value. I looked everywhere in that house. I checked her jewelry box, closet, drawers, cabinets, dressers, nothing. She didn't really have anything that was close to her. I don't think. I thought maybe there would be, a necklace that she loved that I could wear. No, nothing. There was nothing. So I just went and sat in her spot on her couch, head down, just thinking about how desperate I felt just to find something, just one thing. So I just relaxed and sat in her spot, just as she did. And right there, in a box on her coffee table, next to her spot, was her last pack of open cigarettes. Niagara 20 Class A cigarettes, it said. They were opened with 11 left. I was shocked that I was lucky enough to not get the house, the car, the valuables, the money, but I got the cigarettes. I'm so overprotective of those things. I have a hard time when someone touches them, and I understand, my brother or our cousins, it's their grandmother too, they want to see them because they say, "These are her cigarettes." I say, "Yeah," and I have such a hard time sharing them with somebody because I just do not want anything to happen to them. I keep them next to my bed, or sometimes in my car when I'm driving. I just try and keep them close, and I keep them in my car because the last thing she said to me was to drive safe. So I feel like if I keep those with me in my car, it'll help me to drive safe. So those cigarettes really brought me nice closure, and I feel truly honored that I got to keep the greatest gift of all. Thank you.